Hey guys, how are you? This is going to be a fun video. We're going to talk about how to hire event staff if you have a local event series or a bigger event series, and some of these will actually be good tips for if you have a general event, general small business where you can find affordable, good staff that helps you. Okay, let's get started. So if you have an event series or if you have a paid product or something, inevitably some people will ask you for a freebie, right? They will be like, oh, I'm so broke, I can't afford this expensive event, blah, 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 even if your event is really cheap. So don't just turn them away, because they're not going to pay anyway, right? These are the kind of like people who, there's some people who will just not pay. And instead of losing them, make them work for you. Say, hey, okay, you can have, attend the event, or you can have some product if it makes sense financially for you, but give me some labor, right? Do some services for me, be like a volunteer. So that's one way to get free staff. Here I have my list here, so I'm just gonna go down the list. So you want to like start with free stuff, right? Of course, people don't like to work for free. You're not gonna get as, people who work for free don't do as good a job as if you pay them, because if you pay them, they really want to make sure you keep them, right? So they'll do a better job. So if you cannot get free labor, what you want to do is you want to get cheap labor. That's pretty good. One thing you can do is, of course, ask people around you, ask your friends, things like that. If they don't know, or if they can't recommend enough people, there are such sites. They're called like local concierge sites, and basically you can hire people for a day, or for half a day, or for a few days to do basic jobs for you, right? So it's pretty affordable help, and you can see they have reviews, so you can tell if like this is a professional person or a not professional person if they have good reviews. So it's, you can kind of tell already what the recommendations are. So those sites are pretty good. The biggest site I know of this such site is TaskRabbit.com. But what's important in these kinds of sites is for different geographical areas, different sites are more prominent than others. So you have to figure out which such site has prominence in your geographical area, because that's where you're going to be hiring from. And of course, by the way, I forgot to mention that don't forget to explore the opportunity to get your family or friends to help you with some free labor, right? Because most of the time they wouldn't like to do it, but you never know, you might get help, and why not? It's free labor and it will save you some money, it will cut down the cost for your event, and in a way it's sometimes nice to get your friends and family involved as well, if that works for you. Alright, one thing you want to do as you're hiring, if you're just starting to hire, uniforms aren't an issue. But as your event grows and as your staff becomes bigger, maybe there's more than one person, maybe there's 5, depending on the size of your event. Hopefully your event or business becomes big. What you want to do is print them very basic uniforms, right? T-shirt, hat with your branding, so that not only will it be easy for people who are attending the event to recognize who can help them, but also you're creating a bunch of like branded advertisements walking around the event, right? Which will very heavily imprint your logo, domain name, and everything you want into the minds of the people who are attending, because they'll be seeing that logo, that t-shirt, like multiple times that day, right? So it's also, uniforms are good for organizing the event, but it's also like great for extra marketing to those people who are already attending, so they don't forget. Of course, before you hire staff, you want to meet them. Don't just hire, because you have to meet them, you have to make them feel like they're going to be doing an important part of the job, and they are, because you know what, if one bad staff member can turn off a lot of your customers or your like event attendees, and these are people who are paying, so you really don't want that, right? Because if they're paying, they might be repeat customers later, right? So you really don't want to do anything to spoof them, and so for that reason you really want to make sure that you interviewed, even though it seems like the event staff may be doing not a full-time job and it might be a small job. What you really want to do is make sure they're good people, talk to them, make them feel important, make them get an understanding that they'll be happy at this job, that they're going to want to do well, that they're like, you know, encouraged to do well, like they have self-motivated to do well, and then hire them, right? Because make sure that also your team, other team members hire them to make sure that there's a good chemistry there, right? Because you don't want to upset your current team chemistry, because for any event or business, I mean, team chemistry is one of the more important things in the whole operation, because no team, no business, right? So make sure that the rest of your team, not just you, are happy with this employee, and this will make the current employees feel also like they're more important. And you always want to make everybody feel like they're important, because when people feel important, when they feel like they have a stake in something, they do a better job. They feel like it's theirs, right? They own it, they do a better job, right? So you don't want to marginalize them. And yeah, I can't say that enough. People like to feel special. They just do. You also, part of making your staff feel special is giving them proper training. You want to spend time with everyone, because if a person is certain what their job is, they'll do it better. If they know exactly what's expected out of them, they'll just do that thing that's expected. If they're not completely certain, you know, then they'll be like, well, should I do this? Is this more important? Should I put an emphasis on this? Maybe that's not that important, so I don't care either, right? So you don't want that, right? You want them to know exactly what's important and explain how to do it exactly right. And you want to be patient, because people usually don't get stuff from the first time, and, you know, be patient with people. And of course, many people you'll hire them one time, two times, and then maybe they'll be a volunteer once or twice, and then they'll go away or something. But what you really want to do, part of your job, is to make the good ones stay, right? So you want to hire the good ones. So as your, you know, event series or small business as it grows, put the good people on a small contractor salary. I say contractor because it's far less expensive for you. If you want to eventually, if your business really grows or your event series really grows and you want to really reward people who are great, then you can make them employees, because you give them like extra benefits. But of course it's more expensive for you, so you can really only do that when it financially makes sense. But you know, the first step is to give them a nicer hourly salary. The second step is give them more hours, give them more importance, and then eventually you want to hire them full time if you can eventually. Right, just going down my list here. That's pretty much it. That's kind of how you hire staff. The last thing I want to mention is there are kind of staff with specific skills, right? Some people you need them to clean. Some people you won't need them to play music. Some people you need to tend the bar. Some people you need to sell food or do security or something, right? And so there are specific staffing agencies. They're usually very good, right? Because there are specific, like, event staffing agencies. They're usually pretty good, because even though it might be a little bit more expensive, since you know, you'll have to pay the agency's cut, but they know who the good people are already, right? And they can quickly find you people who have special skills. If you just need regular labor, you can easily find that on sites like, you know, TaskRabbit, stuff like that. But if you need specific skills, you might want to look into event staffing agencies. So that's it. Last thing I wanted to mention is, you know, this video is kind of made in conjunction with my friends at grandstandstore.com. They print like posters, event tickets, things like that. So if you have like anything event related and you need something printed, check them out. They are at grandstandstore.com. And you know, of course, check out my site, problemio.com, and of course, comment on the video, tell me what you think, If you like it, press the thumbs up and get engaged. You know, let's chat about it. I'm sure there's more tips that I forgot. If you've hired people, tell us about it. I want to hear about it in the comments, and I want to chat. All right, I'll see you guys in my next video.